Absolutely. All right, coming off the game, yesterday we had basically a normal Sunday-esque. You got to come in, review the film, you go out. You had practice yesterday. Your short normal Sunday practice. Today was a little bit of a modified Tuesday. We'll practice again tomorrow, kind of a modified Wednesday, as we have a few extra days before we start conference play. I thought today was just an average practice. I think it was the first average practice we've had since we started up, and wasn't good enough in regards to the intensity of what it needs to be. And ultimately, it's a choice that we have to make of what we want to be. So we'll continue to respond to that, or we'll see how they respond tomorrow. But today, I don't think that was a good enough work day for what we needed to accomplish and what needed to be done. So. Chance if we wake up tomorrow and get a chance to make it out here, then we'll have an opportunity to respond. So we need to see it.
You talk so much about response. I think people always think about it in the negative sense. If something goes bad, how do you respond? But when you have something go well, how do you handle that in the same?
It's the same response, and that's actually harder when good things happen. That's last time we took this trip to where we're going. We had just beaten a team that was highly rated and all that. And we went and got embarrassed. We didn't respond very well to success. When you win a game, yes, I'm excited that we won the game. I don't think we played our best football game, so I'm pissed about that. Ultimately, that's what we are here to do, to be our best. And yes, effort, heart, that showed up at the end. The character, the identity of what I believe this team has and what they're about showed up in that game. I'm really pleased about it. But today you have an opportunity to go out and get better. And I think there's a lot of instances today where we were just okay being where we were, and that's unacceptable. After practice, we each Tuesday type practice, we have accountabilities for our focus penalties, and we had focus penalties, but there's a standard of how we're going to operate and what we're going to do. So we weren't hitting that standard good enough, so went a little longer.
When you went back and watched the game, the film, anything stand out that maybe you didn't notice the first time around?
It was, we knew that there were some mistakes, early, and then a few that showed up late. We talked to our guys about just going out and just playing their game. And, I think that you get the hype, the emotion. It was a really cool atmosphere. A cool place to play. And I think there was, we had some uncharacteristic mental, missed assignments and mental errors that haven't really shown up. And it's something that, we've got to, even with all the emotion, maintain that maturity to be able to stay focused on the details. We had, some of those focus penalties, some of the things that allowed drives to extend, that allowed, that eliminated opportunities for us to gain an advantage. We can't have those. But the toughness, the physicality, I thought we physically, did what we needed to do in that game. It was impressive to watch. I thought we played with great effort. But ultimately there were some mistakes that allowed it to be a lot closer than what it needed to be.
Was this Jordan's best performance passing the ball throughout the entire game since you guys have been doing together?
Yeah, he's had a few really good games. I thought he played exceptional the other night. And there was maybe 2 plays that you kind of be able to coach him through, but he located the ball well. There were some missed opportunities out on the perimeter that I think we will finish on and need to finish on, but. I thought Jordan did a good job of evading when he needed to evade, staying in the pocket, and sticking and throwing on time and rhythm. Located the ball, at a very high level. I was really pleased with what I saw from him, and he's in the right space of what he's trying to do and what you're seeing from the way that he practices to the investment he's making, in film study and just game plan preparation, and it's showing up on game.
As you watch the film with Adam, those last 2 or 3 drives, what was going wrong for you guys? Would you say you were a little too conservative there late, or is that?
There's times that you got. There's times that we're playing, different coverages. A guy slips. It was a combination of a lot of different things that happened. They still had to go execute 15 or 11 plays, 15 plays, 11 plays. That's, we need to be able to make the stop. There were some times that we were right at the quarterback, and there was some challenges that showed up in that pursuit. But ultimately, I think there was our guys, we were able to keep it in front of us. We just, but we had a couple uncharacteristic mistakes. We're in a man situation where we lost a man, there late, and that can't happen. I mean, those are things that, with all the right intentions of what somebody might think, but we'll have a job to do. And so, it's like I said, it's a great combination of things that showed up. I thought our defense was playing really well. I mean, but it's an example of, if we don't stay focused on the fundamentals, details. I mean, there's a couple times the defensive back slipped and had separation, maybe because they're sticking too far outside the framework, or just whatever the case might be. Those are all things that did show up.
And there is a balance, right? You don't want to be too aggressive with the lead and give them a free 80, but you also don't want them to make it too easy either. Is that the balance you have to strike?
I mean, yes, there is that balance, and we felt like we were going to be able to get pressure, which we were, with the rush we were given, and matching up coverages underneath, and I felt really good about the plan of what we were trying to do, and ultimately we got to do better of making the plays when we get the opportunities, and I think all of that will play itself out.
Is executing in a crunch time a game of that magnitude something some players have learned?
I think the whole experience, from the crunch time to the beginning of the game, all of it shows up, and it's all things that you can point to and saying, all right, look, this is what occurred. Now let's look at why it happened. What can we do to get better? We talk all the time about the response. It's about learning from the lessons that you have. I like learning lessons when we win games. Okay, so let's get that out there. I love it, right? Because you get to look back and say, well, what was this our best? And we left 18 points out on the field. And that happened. That's just, right? We let them, they scored on their last, 3 possessions, right? And some of that, we aided them down the field with dumb penalties. And so, it's just, you look at those things of, all right, why did that happen? Why did that occur? And what can we do to make it better in the future? And that's where, the way our guys embrace that learning. I thought yesterday was a really good film session. I thought it was a good practice. We were in and out quick. Today, it was not where it needed to be to the standard of what we've shown. So we got to respond to that and apply the lessons.
Going back and watching the film, how did you kind of evaluate how the offensive line did against the challenges they had, and how Alex, it seemed like the game plan protections he did really they worked really effectively.
I thought those guys competed. They were playing against some really good guys, some talented guys on the defensive front. And I thought they held their own. There was plays here, play there. Sometimes even when there's times of even pressure, there's different reasons for some of those pressures, and whether it's on the O-line or whether it was a back or whether it was a hot or one of those things that ultimately it's all things that we get to continue to work and learn from. But I think those guys have really shown up, and they're playing tough, they're playing physical. We just got to clean up some of the little things.
Why do you think you guys were able to be so successful on third down and also middle of the field passing down?
I mean, it's Jordan did a great job taking what they were giving him. I think he was on rhythm, on time. There was a few third downs that he had to make plays, and that's gonna show up. But I think we converted over 60% on third down. I mean, that's all. Everybody has to be involved in that. Whether it was a screen play, whether it was a run play, whether it was a drop back pass. I mean, it was really impressive, and they showed us quite a few different looks and different things that showed up. But our guys had prepared really well last week. They felt very confident in what we were doing, and they went out and executed in the moment.
Got time for 2 more? We saw Bless in the spring. I don't know if you have an idea of the timeline.
I was going to announce that here at the end, but Bless is going to actually be out for the season, and it's something that it's unfortunate for that young man. It happened there in our first game, and that something that occurred. And we actually finished the drive playing it out, so it wasn't something that really jumped out. We knew in the game that there had been an injury, but he'll be out for the season, and obviously really test the depth of what we had. Jazz started the game at right tackle. It was good for him to be able to go through that game, and he's only been here for roughly 6 weeks. I mean, it's if that, and so he's been having to learn a lot. There's been a lot thrown on him. I really think he's embraced some of the challenges of that and the time that he's studying. But I thought he did a solid job there Saturday or Sunday with the circumstances, and obviously we'll miss Bless, and but I know he'll be back and ready, and he can be a really good player for us.
Fabian Lovett appeared to get twisted up on that last drive. Is there any update of where he stands?
We'll continue to evaluate where all things go with Fabian. Fabian is played so extremely hard in the game, and he went down there at the end, and it was, he's just, he's a tough human being. And I will say, look at guys, Maurice Smith last week, Johnny Wilson, Cam McDonald. I mean, those guys, they have battled to get themselves back and ready for them. And going to watch Maurice Smith, in all honesty, we weren't expecting him until even potentially this next week. And I mean, he willed himself through this treatment. Cam, you guys have been out here. He went through all fall camp. Not really very, very, very limited, and was able to get himself in position to even get some reps in that first game was something that I was really proud of. And so, we got guys that are working, and I know Fabian's going to do the same thing. And as soon as we can get him back on the practice field and rolling, he's going to be rolling.
All right, thank you.